strange. Earlier today, President Trump was spotted on the roof of the White House. The reporters asked Trump what he was doing, and he had an interesting response. Watch this.
Sir, why are you on the roof?
Mr. President, what are you doing up there?
If your grandpa was taking a little walk on the roof, you'd put him in a home, right? That's what you would do.
They're still living in Joe Biden's America. Jimmy Fallon, network television broadcast, Democrat Party propaganda. They still think that there's a crusty old dimwit living in the White House. Oh, it's President Trump. He climbs mountains every day. He's on the roof, strolling around, talking about what he's going to build, what he's going to make, what he's going to create. The Democrats, well, they pay their propagandists many millions of dollars a year. Where's the NBC, ABC, CBS, HBO? Do any of those have a conservative 1-hour show, 90-minute show, once a week, once a night, anywhere? The answer is no, definitely not. Well, very happy Wednesday to you, and welcome back once again. Hump Day in the Clinton household. I assume Hillary's already out of the house, clearing the path for Bill Clinton on Hump Day. Hillary Clinton waking up once again face down in a pool of her own dried vomit on their linoleum floor, one of their kitchens in the multi-million-dollar mansion, whichever one they're in today. It's sad, really, what might have been. Womp, womp, womp. There's a Democrat member of the House of Representatives from Illinois now who's calling for Hamas to get their own state. Where are they going to get that? Maybe it'll be shaped like Gaza, and then they can have an election, and they can elect Hamas, and then we can do this all over again as though nobody remembers what happened last month or last year or at any time in the past, because they're not good at any of this. Not good at any of this at all. Womp, womp, womp. You know, we were examining, Barack Obama. You remember Barack Hussein Obama? We were playing the Harry Enton, the CNN polling guy who does all their polls from. And Harry Enton talking about President Trump being the most consequential president of the 20th century. And that puts Barack Hussein Obama in the back seat of a car, flying off a cliff, about to explode into a wall of rocks, because he was such a catastrophe. We've never been more divided as a nation, well, at least since the Democrats were put down in the American Civil War. But Barack Obama, the most divisive president of modern times. And now they pretend that Trump is, but in reality it's them. It's, no sense of irony, these people. Isn't it amazing? But it is. Do you have the birthday song? Because it turns out that Barack Obama, I heard this morning that Obama was celebrating his birthday with his not-so-loving wife, Big Mike. Big Mike. Where is Larry Sinclair when you need Larry Sinclair? But Barack Obama, interestingly enough, he was born on August 4th. And although today is Hiroshima Day, August 6th, as any child of 6 can tell you, Barack Obama turned, day before yesterday, he turned 64 years old. August 4th, 1961 is when he was born. And he's been lying ever since, lying like a rug. But he's a leftist. He's basically he's the birth of the commie movement in the Democrat Party in the United States. And they've been getting worse and worse ever since. But the news media, they're all over it. Michelle Obama speaks out about husband Barack's sexy trait. That's the headline. Boy, it's good to be a Democrat, isn't it? Because what did he do? He used the U.S. military to attack 8 countries, and he has the Nobel Peace Prize next to him. Maybe Newsweek should do a story about that, more irony. But today, Newsweek magazine with the headline, Michelle Obama speaks out about husband Barack's sexy trait. Sexy trait. It's being fluffed by the news media. It's just what they expect, and it's what they get. So after 40 or 50 years of that, I guess everybody would expect it. Michelle Obama has shared the sexy trait that first attracted her to Barack Obama. It was standing in a corner kissing a man, I think and his name was Larry Sinclair. That's another thing. on a new episode of her Nobody Watches It podcast. Newsweek reached out to Barack Obama's representatives via email for comment, and they haven't heard back because that's all they said about it. Barack Obama, 64, served as the 44th president of the United States. 2 terms, 2009 to 2017. The Honolulu, Hawaii native. And Michelle Obama, 61 years old. Amazing stuff. They wanted to have 2 children together, allegedly. That's what they say. Malia, which sounds like a mosquito-borne disease, doesn't it, Malia? That's not an American name. And Sasha, like Sasha Fu. Remember Sasha Fu? And so they got, like a Middle Eastern name and an African name. They're not embracing the American culture and the American customs. Nobody pointed that out, did they? No, they didn't. But on an episode, Michelle Obama, it's in my opinion with Michelle Obama that nobody really wants. And amazing stuff. Talking about her brother as Craig, and that's, I'm sure he's perfectly fine. He's a basketball coach or something like that. Might be a normal person if you left him alone. But it was about the Larry Sinclair thing. And that's what attracted Big Mike to Barack. But we have had a tradition for a long time. When Barack Obama's birthday comes along, we play the Happy Birthday song for Barack Obama because, he was the president of the United States and he hated at least half of the people in the United States of America. And in the macro, he despises the United States of America, and he's not on our side. He never has been. That's why the Democrats picked him, because he fits in perfectly with them. But we've always loved playing the birthday song for Barack Obama's birthday.
Happy birthday to you, happy birthday.
Hey, Hussein, come on. Hey, we got a song for you over here.
Happy birthday.
See?
To you.
The whole world celebrates Barack Obama's birthday. This guy sings a heck of a version of Happy Birthday to You, doesn't he?
Happy birthday to
Hey!
you. Happy birthday to Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
He's over 60 now. He's going to have to sign up for Medicare in another 4 years by his birthday, or the government will punish him for not signing up. Hey! Hussein! Happy birthday to you. This is my favorite part, I think. He did say that the most beautiful sound he'd ever heard was the call to prayer because of his Christian upbringing, which meant that he was not for same-sex marriage. Remember that? He was against same-sex marriage because of his Christian upbringing. The most beautiful sound he ever heard was the call to prayer. He's not on our side, not on our side at all. Wah, wah, wah. Yes, sir. Oh, there's another, there are all kinds of fun. So happy birthday to Barack Obama and to Big Mike. I hope Big Mike's having a nice time as well. We've got a lot going on, and I want to start getting to some audio with you as well. The Democrats, they're obstructionists, they're anti-democratic, they're undemocratic, they're gerrymanderers from the get-go. The very first gerrymander was the Democrats. The Democrats gerrymander every state that they control, right? If they have the big three, the state House of Representatives, the state Senate, and the governor's mansion, they're very fond of corrupting the hell out of the redistricting process, and they just accept that as normal. They just say, well, that's perfectly normal. That's what we do. We redistrict. Don't forget about us. And they're crooks, I think. Isn't that the name of the guy that shot President Trump through the ear? Said that's proof enough that he's a Democrat right there. Isn't that amazing? And he gave to Act Blue, and he shot Trump. And Democrats still go around saying, oh, no, he's a Republican. He's a Republican. Because if there's something to lie about, they'll lie about it. Aren't they amazing? And Barack Hussein Obama, 61 years old. His loving wife went to hug him at a party night before last. Might have severed his spine. Very sad. Now, speaking of corrupt Democrats and corrupt television networks and all that, CBS has a TV show. It's still on at the moment. Late night. Stephen Colbert. And he had a special guest on last night. No, it wasn't Barack Obama or Michelle, Big Mike. But it was the corpulent governor of the great state of Illinois, who is harboring Democrats that fled by private charter jet to Illinois so they don't have to do their job and vote on redistricting because they're anti-democratic. They're a threat to democracy itself. They really are. And everything they accuse you of is exactly what they're guilty of doing while they're accusing you of it. I should say, I just had to hit the cough button a moment ago because turns out I have strep throat. But do I take the day off? No. Did I take the day off yesterday with strep throat? No. Why? Well, because I'm not lazy. That's why. And now, thanks to Big Pharma and the patriarchy, I'm taking antibiotics. Very potent antibiotics. 400 milligrams last night and again today because of the strep throat. But I said, I got strep throat. Some people that do a 3-hour radio show would say, you've got strep throat. You can't go in and do a 3-hour radio show. And I said, give me a banana. I had my morning banana and my field of greens. Drank that at breakfast. Then I have orange juice, too. And then I come in and do a 3-hour radio show with strep throat because, who wouldn't? This is America. It's Hiroshima Day. Can't miss Hiroshima Day. We got that. But in any case, I want to explain why I just had to hit the cough button a moment ago. It went silent for a moment because I had to cough. What was the strep throat? But it's all right. Big Pharma's taking care of me. The Democrats, they hate Big Pharma because they do too much good. Who saved more lives last year? American pharmaceutical companies or the United Nations? By the way, the United Nations is meeting today to talk about the hostages that Hamas is still holding while they praise Hamas. Because the United Nations should be converted to condominiums and they should move to Geneva or someplace. Not Lake Geneva in Wisconsin, beautiful Lake Geneva, but Geneva, in Switzerland. Let's go to last night because the propagandists at CBS, they pay Stephen Colbert millions and millions of dollars to do propaganda for the Democrat Party. And he invited on the Democrat. Oh, look, I've done it again, haven't I? And they invited the Democrat governor of Illinois, who's harboring the escaped criminals from Texas that are destroying our democracy. The foundations of democracy are under assault by them. And Stephen Colbert with the corpulent governor of Illinois, the billionaire J.B. Pritzker.
You're the governor of Illinois, but right now you're harboring fugitives from the great state of Texas.
Yay, we're undermining democracy. We already gerrymandered to Illinois.
Texas Democratic lawmakers who fled their state after Republicans tried to redraw their congressional maps between the censuses. This is just a pure power grab here.
Yeah, Democrats have done that in Illinois. They've done it in Maryland. They've done it in Massachusetts. They've done it in New Jersey. They've done it pretty much everywhere. Done it in California. And, and they got the gang of idiots being the SEALs that they are and the idiot audience for Stephen Colbert. And it gets better from there. The big lie. They go by the rules that they learned from Joseph Goebbels, or Gurgle, as, our favorite reverend likes to call him. I've got more on that coming up. The big lie that is the Democrat Party. Hey, I want to talk about you living a better digital life with one of our newest partners on the Chris Plant Show, WebRoot. WebRoot? I chose WebRoot because of the Total Protection product. Now, WebRoot's all-in-one package offers plans for individuals and for families, allowing coverage up to 5 devices for individuals, 10 devices with the family package, and they have you covered no matter what. WebRoot's coverage includes antivirus and identity protection, big, VPN backup, and a whole lot more. And you don't need to be an adult. The kids, they're on the internet, on the phones, on the iPads. WebRoot wants to make sure your entire family is protected, whether your toddler is on the iPad, or a college student, or a senior citizen. WebRoot allows, for my best girl and I, to live a better digital life, and that's why I want to recommend that you do the same thing. Right now, you get 50% off of WebRoot's Total Protection or WebRoot's Essentials plans when you go to webroot.com/plant. See, another benefit of hanging out with me. Again, get 50% off WebRoot's Total Protection or WebRoot's Essentials plan when you go to webroot.com/plant. Yes, sir. That's a good. All right, I've got more of this propaganda from the Democrats coming up. Boy, it's good to be a Democrat. All the networks doing they're slaves to the Democrat Party. They want to be manacled. Manacled, see, there's that manacle thing again. We're at 888-630-9625.
Did I hear you correctly say that perhaps he was influenced by Gurgle and the Third Reich telling a big lie? I just want to make sure that's what I heard you say.
Chris here with a list of things that none of us should trust. The Washington Post, the New York Times, anything on CNN. Here's a list of things that I do trust. The Washington Times. Support real journalism for just $1 a week at washingtontimes.com/Chris. Yes, today is also Mailbag Day on the Chris Plant Show. Hump Day in the Clinton household. Not for Hillary so much. It's wake up face down in a pool of your own dried vomit day for Hillary. But for Bill Clinton, that's a different thing altogether. Speaking of which, Bill and Hillary Clinton. Bill and Hillary Clinton are in the news again today, and I'm going to get back to the Stephen Colbert with the corpulent billionaire, private jet-owning Democrat governor of Illinois, because there's a lot of stuff going on. The Republican Party is looking into Barack Obama's conspiracy to undermine presidential elections. And now Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton have both been subpoenaed. They have been issued subpoenas over the Jeffrey Epstein files. It's always called the files. You know, it's the Epstein case. It's the Epstein list. But the government has now issued subpoenas for Bill Clinton and for Hillary Clinton over the Jeffrey Epstein episode in American history and American political history. And we've got an update on Ghislaine Maxwell, too. She was moved to another prison, which is apparently less unpleasant. It's still prison. You can't go anywhere. Hey, I think I'll go out and hit a restaurant or something. But now the House Oversight Committee has issued sweeping subpoenas. It's investigation of Jeffrey Epstein, demanding testimony from former President Bill Clinton and former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. What could they possibly have to say about any of this? What do they know? They don't know nothing. They weren't even there. They don't even know the guy. Or B. So the subpoenas, it's great. And 8 former attorneys general and FBI directors. All right, let's see if I can stay focused for a minute and do the audio from the Colbert show last night with the corpulent Illinois governor, J.D. Pritzker, while he's harboring fugitive criminals from fleeing justice in Texas, ought to be arrested in pre-dawn FBI raids. You know, let's go. But let me get to those, and then I have with me the mailbag for today, Wednesday, and let us go. Stephen Colbert had the Illinois Democrat left-wing radical. They're all left-wing radicals. Inherited billions from his family, having to do nothing for himself. Bought the governor's mansion, quite literally, the office. Now let's go to Stephen Colbert. They're talking about gerrymandering, and Stephen Colbert did better journalism. And it's not journalism, but you just do something very simple that they should be doing on MSDNC and on CNN and CBS and ABC and NBC, but they aren't, and the Washington Post. But Stephen Colbert with the Democrat governor harboring fugitive Democrats fleeing justice from Texas on private jets, of course, that they're not going to pay for, and the news media won't pursue it because news media is a corrupt part of the Democrat Party. Stephen Colbert last night with circumference.
Now, a lot of governors out there are saying, well, they're going to increase the gerrymander of their states in order to counter what Texas has done. California has already said what they're going to do. They're going to put a plan in place that'll wipe out half a dozen Republican seats, but it'll only be triggered if Texas goes through with their plan. It's, it's kind of like, a dead man switch or something like that. Can Illinois do something like that?
It's possible, and I've said everything's on the table. I mean,
they've already
fight fire
done it
with fire.
Mm-hmm.
They've frankly
fighting fire with fire again
out, and they're just acting in an unconstitutional fashion. And what we're going to have to do is whatever it's
not
to
unconstitutional.
Preserve democracy.
Woo! Yay! And besides, we've already gerrymandered the hell out of Illinois to the point where it can barely breathe politically, but never mind. But Colbert is not in the business of telling the truth, and, he's supposed to be a comedian, but he's a political actor for the Democrat Party. By the way, Maryland redrew the 6th district to flip it to the Democrat Party, securing a 7-1 seat advantage in the state of Maryland, where they have 8 House seats, 8 congressional seats in the House of Representatives, and the Democrats own 7 of them, yet 35-40% of people in Maryland vote Republican, and the Democrats corruptly stole seats in the House of Representatives, and Stephen Colbert doesn't talk about that because he's a maroon, right? In Illinois, they eliminated in their redistricting 2 Republican seats, so the Republican seats were 5, now they're 3, because the Republicans had 2 House seats stolen from them by corrupt Democrats. The Democrats at the same time increased their number of seats from 13 to 14 while stealing 2 Republican seats. They did that in 2021. The state of New York drew a map for 22 Democrats and 4 Republicans, and then the courts came in and struck it down because it was so shamelessly third world, banana republic corrupt. In California in 2021, the Democrat tilt, let's say, the Democrats redistrict, where they ended up with 44 seats for the Democrats and 3 seats for the Republicans. So this is how they get their majority in Washington in the House of Representatives, and they've been doing this for years. Again, that was in 2021, very busy 2021 for the Democrats. In Oregon, they redrew their congressional districts where the Democrats got 5 seats in the House of Representatives and the Republicans got 1 seat in the House of Representatives. In New Mexico, they just adjusted, the Democrats did, their congressional seats. They gerrymandered. So the Democrats send 3 members of the House to Washington and the Republicans 0. All right? In Nevada, they redrew the maps there, the Democrats, so the Democrats get 3 seats, the Republicans get 1 seat, right? Because they're criminals, and they've been doing this all the time, and forever and ever. Then when Republicans say in Texas, you know what, we're going to do that, then all these frauds and the propaganda apparatus of the Democrat Party, like Stephen, the demented, deranged, deformed Stephen Colbert, he invites a Democrat on who inherited billions to say, oh, yeah, now we're going to gerrymander. Well, that might be almost impossible. In Maryland, again, there's 1 Republican seat remaining, and the Democrats started yelling yesterday that they're going to gerrymander that 1 seat out of existence. That might be hard to do, but they'll find a way, I'm confident, because they're criminals. In New Jersey, the Democrats redrew the maps, and the Democrats, they have 12 House seats, and, of course, the vast majority go to the Democrats because they're Democrats. Now, do they talk about that on Colbert? No, nor would I necessarily expect them to. It's not supposed to be a political show. It's supposed to be entertainment, interview, comedy, a little light comedy. But instead, it is indoctrination and brainwashing, the drip 24 hours a day. Every time you turn on the television, it's the Democrat Party's message slapping you in the face like a fish. And then Colbert pulled up a foam board with a map of Illinois on it, and it laid out the shapes of the congressional districts that the Democrats had drawn for the state of Illinois so that they could dominate in the House of Representatives. They're stealing democracy, right? They're the end. This is just their rhetoric. They're Hitler. What's the Timu? They're Timu Hitler. They're little cheap internet Hitlers. Colbert pulled up the map, and they said, well, this is completely ridiculous. Look at the shapes of the congressional districts that you guys drew to reduce the number of Republican seats from 5 to 3 while simultaneously increasing the number of Democrat seats.
If you're considering doing a little more redrawing in Illinois, you already have some crazy districts in Illinois. Take a look at this. Look at 17 here. It does that. Then it comes up here and it sneaks around there and goes all the way up here and then goes right over there like that. And look at this one, kind of goes whoop up there. It's like the stinger on a scorpion down here. Is this common for all states to do?
Yes.
Well, we handed it over to a kindergarten class and let them decide.
Okay, that's the nonpartisan group that does this
Absolutely.
for you guys?
That's our independent commission, you know.
In California, Republican Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger put together a nonpartisan commission that would do the redrawing of the congressional districts. And the current Democrat governor has said, screw that. We burned that to the ground. We firebombed it with Molotov cocktails. We're going to do whatever the hell we want because we're happily, openly corrupt. And then the news media joins them in celebrating their corruption, in admiring their corruption. Amazing stuff. And he's sitting there again with the multi-billionaire who inherited all his money, has never made anything.
And I don't want to, spoil anyone's reputation here. You're a billionaire, okay?
Didn't
Not
earn
a
it.
very popular thing to be right now.
With communists.
I'm okay with it.
You're okay with it, I'm sure.
I'm okay with it. A good answer.
You know what? That shows real courage.
He inherited all.
I've got to stand up for my people. You know?
Say that he didn't make anything, but it's all just propaganda. And they say, it's very common for governors in Illinois to end up in prison, like the Speaker of the House, Michael Madigan, the Democrat in charge of the State House in Illinois. And he was just sentenced to 7.5 years in prison for his corruption. See, and that's just lighthearted stuff.
This is your second term as governor. And if you make it to January, you'll be the first Democratic governor in Illinois history to finish 2 terms.
Without being sent to prison.
A lot of them end up in the Hooskow,
Hooskow in the can.
Isn't that an extraordinary credential to have on your resume?
This is not, yes, and it's extraordinary to stay out of prison.
Good luck with that, by the way.
Thank you very much.
As you're hiding these people from Donald Trump,
right.
I would...
Believe
Trump's
me,
the problem.
I think about the
TDS.
Donald Trump picking me up and taking me to El Salvador to the Gulag.
Sure.
So I hope that doesn't happen.
Yeah. Why are you a member of MS-13? Because they're still really hung up. They all want to date the MS-13 wife-beater, human trafficker, smuggling illegal aliens for years in the back of big vehicles from Texas, spreading them out all over the country. And the Democrats applaud organized crime. They applaud Mexican drug cartels. They love the Sinaloa cartel more than they love the United States of America. Pritzker.
I want to remind everybody that 2 of the greatest presidents in the history of the country came from Illinois. Abraham Lincoln. Yeah. Who I might add would not be a member of the Republican Party of today.
Say woo.
And Barack Obama.
Clap. Right. Well, Abraham Lincoln did hold office in the State House and the House of Representatives from Illinois. He was born in Kentucky. Barack Obama is, of course, from Hawaii. And then you guys sold his Senate seat. I think one of you guys went to prison for that. Isn't that true? They love the crime, and they love the criminals. They're not on our side. It is Mailbag Day. It is Mailbag Day. And I have mailbag questions in front of me. They're also queries. They're queries and questions, depending on whether one's from a Democrat or not. Let's go to the, here's Dimebag 5150. Says, Chris Christie started doing aerobics this week. He's getting into better shape. New York City, the New York City area had 2 earthquakes. Do you think these events are related? And I think clearly they've got to be Chris Christie. He sticks the landing, doesn't he? And that is 7.2. Not that's not his score. That's what happened on the Richter scale, 7.2. But that's another thing. Eric asks, the humorous 1960s folk singer Tom Lehrer died a couple of weeks ago. That's true. Did you listen to his songs, and if so, did you have any favorites? I got to tell you, my parents would play, my mother and my stepfather would play record albums of Tom Lehrer doing his funny songs at home, and everybody's smoking cigarettes and drinking liquor and, brown liquor in little glasses with ice and stuff. And I do have a favorite, as a matter of fact, and my favorite is National Brotherhood Week.
Oh, the Protestants hate the Catholics, and the Catholics hate the Protestants, and the Hindus hate the Muslims, and everybody hates the Jews. But during National Brotherhood Week, National Brotherhood Week, it's national, everyone smile at one another. Hood Week, be nice to people who are inferior to you. It's only for a week, so have no fear. Be grateful that it doesn't last all year.
Yeah, that's kind of fun. That was fun. When we were kids, little kids, we knew all the lyrics to that song. One of six brothers, we could sing it like we're the Von Tropps, National Brotherhood. And what's your favorite, Tim? Oh, yeah, Poisoning Pigeons in the Park, which is a fun one, too. Do you have Poisoning Pigeons in there? Okay. That was Michael's favorite, and that's fun. Also, it should be noted that it emerged after Tom Lehrer's death that he laid claim to, and nobody really seemed to contest it, he laid claim to inventing the Jell-O shot, or the Jell-O shooter, if you prefer. Jell-O shots, Jell-O shooters, where you make Jell-O, but you make it with some water and with vodka. And he had long claimed that when he was in the United States Navy, they were having a Christmas party, and they told him no alcohol at the Christmas party. So he made the Jell-O with vodka and brought the Jell-O onto the Navy base and served the vodka-laden Jell-O to his fellow sailors at the Navy base. And nobody argues with that, so maybe he really did invent the Jell-O shooter. At least he took credit, and that's fun. Lord Cyrus Worthington asks, do you think Trump will end home rule in D.C.? It's really funny. He says, I hope so. You know what? I hope so, too, Lord Cyrus Worthington. I hope so, too. And President Trump's talking about it today. Now that a young member of the Doge staff was beaten into a bloody pulp by a gang of Democrat Utes who were trying to carjack a woman at nearly 3 a.m. or approximately 3 a.m. in Washington, D.C. Yeah, I've been pushing that for forever. I got to tell you, Lord Cyrus Worthington, back when Marion Barry was mayor for life here, I voted for him every chance I got. I met him a few times, and I always thought he was hilarious and that he would set back statehood and home rule. And I'd like to see the federal government take over because even the federal government couldn't do a worse job than the elected D.C. government in Washington. So, Lord Cyrus, I hope so. Dennis asks, love your radio show. My question is, whatever happened to them going to inspect Fort Knox? Oh, that is a good question. I knew somebody who was going to go on that trip, too. I know I'm going to have to contact somebody. Yeah, to see if the gold is there or whether the Democrats stole it all in like stolen pickup trucks. And I'm gonna look into that, Dennis. Bronxite Babs. That's funny. My mother, Babs, Barbara, lived in Bronxville, and I was technically born in Bronxville and all that stuff. Bronxite Babs. That's good. Chris, are you willing to take Howard Stern's spot on Sirius? Yeah, there's a rumor today that they're going to cancel Howard Stern's radio show on Sirius XM. Are you willing to take Howard Stern's spot? Heard the money is good. Yeah, that is a great thought. And Bronxite Babs, I appreciate that. I thank you very much for that. I'd be willing to consider that. I got to say, I don't like to complain, but I sometimes feel underappreciated when it comes to, you see what Stephen Colbert is paid, for example, for a staff of thousands, and it's not funny, but it's Democrat Party propaganda. The Republicans need to figure out how to create a system like the one that the Democrats created, where they have $1 billion slush fund to pay their propagandists. Me, I'll come out and tell the truth. Maybe that's the problem. That's the problem I have right there. That's good. And that is our mailbag. Thank you, one and all. Great names, great questions, really great stuff. And I really didn't see him until, not so long ago. You know that the all-new third-generation Eden Pure Thunderstorm air purifier is here and available to you and to all of us. The new model builds on the incredible success of the previous generations, which earned thousands of five-star reviews on Al Gore's Amazing Internet, a major bestseller. I know tons of people that have them. We've got 3 of them at home. This new Thunderstorm uses 2 technologies that studies have demonstrated help to kill up to 99.9% of bacteria and viruses floating in the air, and that's a good thing. It also removes dust and pet dander and smoke and a whole lot more from the air that you breathe and your family and your loving bride, everybody. Helps get rid of any odor as well with no filters to have to replace again and again. The Thunderstorm will help you get rid of any stinky smell guaranteed. Trash cans, cigarette smoke, liberal protesters, musty basements. No match for the Eden Pure Thunderstorm. And the stink disappears in a matter of seconds. Right now, you can also save $200 American on an Eden Pure Thunderstorm 3-pack for a whole home protection. You can make one a gift. You can put one upstairs, one in your teenager's room, one in your kitchen, any place you like to have clean, fresh air. Right now, all you have to do is go to EdenPureDeals.com and use the discount code CHRIS3, CHRIS and the number 3 to save $200. It's all because we hang out together on 3 Thunderstorms. That's EdenPureDeals.com. The discount code is CHRIS3. Man, oh, Manischewitz. That's good. We got Zoran Mamdani. He hates Manischewitz. And he's glad they're hostages being held by Hamas. He wants to kill capitalism, and the Democrats love him. He's coming up. The Democrats have a brilliant new plan. They have a great new plan in place. They're opening the first in the nation homeless shelter for transgender people. It's a homeless shelter for, boy, you think things are tough with you. You're not probably a homeless transgender person living on the sidewalk in New York, but they've got a solution for that in New York. I think you'll be interested in hearing about this because it's the Democrats. They're always innovating. I'm going to tell you how much it costs as well.